Okay, everyone, welcome to leveling our warrior in Presearing Day 4. This time we will be, of course, continuing our adventures into Northlands. We have our Char at the Gate quest, so let's get right to it. It's still the Halloween event, so I would like to take advantage of it and start playing as much as I can to collect those fantastic bags, trick-or-treat bags. This time I do not have my little RuneScape window at the bottom because I'm currently making potions on there that cannot be sold to Mr. Arnold, and they would require far more attention that I could give to both the stream, Guild Wars, and RuneScape. That's just too much attention that would have to be divided. And I would just like to chill out one time. So, Char are still very dangerous for us. I hope actually that the Fire Imp will stay with us and we can still have it outside the wall, because I don't think I've ever summoned it before actually crossing the lines to Northlands. But we should be fine. And let's just finish out those Char for some easy XP, and let's get our best mate Ben Wolfson. And we can't forget to pick up all of those flowers because we're getting really behind on those. It would be good to finish up our armor, and soon we might be able to start fighting the Char on the altar, which is the Char bosses. And if we get a Char kit and get some good runes, then why not use them? And if we don't have the proper helmet to use them, then we will just be slowing down our progression, and that is not good. For now, this is that perfect time in Presearing progression of your character that we can get lucky and just get a massive upgrade. Before level 10, even a better shield would be a fantastic upgrade. Maybe some good mods on a shield after 10 would also be beneficial, although I think we might go with that bow build, so don't quote me on that. But all the runes, maybe a better axe, maybe if we get lucky pulling the boss, then getting those boss only drops. We can re-summon the imp, so that's how it works. We might get lucky and get a big jump in power relatively easy. So that's what we're looking for now. Getting experience and trying to get lucky with some very good drops. They don't even have to be that good because we're not at this stage yet. We still don't have much, to be honest. We have a crafted axe and a whatever shield with no mods. So a lot of the stuff that will drop here will be beneficial for us. So let's get our mate Ben and try to get a proper run going. We probably also should hit level 9 this run. And I think our imp is stuck fighting the O card. This sometimes happens. Thankfully this time it unstuck and just decided to follow us. But sometimes the imp just decides to stay and fight the monster, and it's really annoying because then it's too far and you have to backtrack a lot. So try to keep an eye out on your imp, because to be quite honest, with the terrible gear we have now, it really is carrying us and not we carrying the imp. Okay. My cat is doing some rampaging in the background. Hopefully that's not too loud, although with my mic settings you probably should not even hear it. You have to be very careful not to pull those Char. Let's wait for them to regroup and then we can pass. That's how you do it. And if you don't kill those Growl first, then after you pull that Char pack, they will come running to you just to be a nuisance. So you always want to fight those Growls first. Also, if you remember from previous videos, from previous episodes, I mentioned that we want to save all of the quests for level 16. I think we'll make one exception, one more exception, and we will become a ranger at level 10 definitely if we're switching to that bow build, because then we can put points into wilderness survival as well, and getting a higher health regeneration will definitely be very, very beneficial here. I think even more so than marksmanship, because Fire Imp can manage, we just need to tank for him. At least until we can dish some serious damage ourselves. Okay, and here we go. If we check /devs, then I still haven't died on this character, and I would very much like to keep it so. That's why we are playing very, very, very safe right now. And looks like Ben will survive, so that's great. We can do a proper run, and we got a trick or treat bag and 220 gold drops, so that's fantastic loot. I gotta say, I love this part of leveling, because the XP is still pretty fast, then it dramatically slows down, and this is the most enjoyable part for me as well, at least. On my main, I saw I started to run out of scale fins, but I don't think a warrior is a good character to farm scales at. For that, you probably want someone with an elementalist profession. So I don't think we will be farming those now, but maybe after I hit level 20, we will expand the stream to all of my characters, and I can do all of the farming and my daily quests on stream if I'd like to. For now, I would like to keep it concisely packed to only the warrior, so this can serve as a guide if it's watched later on. That's why the title is Presearing LDoA Get Together. Let's equip our bow and wait for the other pack to pass. I can start casting my Troll Unduant. And let's go. They spread out, which is not great. But maybe we can nuke this shaman. And Ben is RIP, sadly. Sorry if I'm talking a little less when I'm fighting. I would just really like to focus on not dying. That would be ideal. And we got a level. Very nice. Okay, what we can use our points on. Just dump them into strength. I think if we came back to town, we could maybe got one more axe mastery out of it. But for now, strength will also suffice, because those lads all have very high armor. And I don't think we can take a full group of 4 without Ben anymore, so we will be... great. My imp pulled again, so we might lose him here. Okay, I needed to teleport out. 30 HP is the amount where you can just get one shot, and it's far too late. but we still are alive. Alright. Abandon shut the gate, pick it up again. I'm not sure if we will still be getting experience from those char. I know that it's the fastest way to get to level 9, but I don't know if that means that at level 9 you stop getting XP. Probably the XP will be very minimal, but still I would say worth it, because as you can see we're struggling to clear those char waves. Hello, Naijawi. Hopefully the stream can provide some good ambience for your lunch and enjoy your food. I'm gonna try to get level 10 at least on the stream now today, so we can finally develop the build that we want, and we will go with our proper build and try if we maybe can take more char on then. As you can see, we also have one empty slot. There is no skill that I would like to put here, because other skills that I have require a specific weapon, like sword skills. This is the slot where I would usually want to put Resurrection Signet on if we played with some other players, but I don't have that skill yet, because to get it you need to complete a quest. Pretty cool quest at that too. It just requires you to form a party, which I think is a very MMO friendly design, and there are always people happy to help you with the party in the Ascalon here in Presearing. Where is the flower? Let's make a little detour for the flower. And I think that's a very, very useful skill if you happened to watch my Presearing skill tier list. I put Resurrection Signet in the S tier because it's just a skill like no other, very, very useful for Presearing. It resets when a boss dies. So you have 4 bosses, so if you and your friend, for example, want to do some char runs, but you're not too good at the game, maybe you're not too high level, that's a perfect skill to keep the fun going. You can die pretty much at every boss, because if the other person is alive there to resurrect you, then you can keep the game rolling, and it's just a fantastic skill for that specific thing, I think. While Presearing is an area that can be very easily played solo if you have even a little bit of experience with Guild Wars, I think playing with duo is always very fun. I mean, that's one of the most fun ways to play MMORPGs. That's why they're massive multiplayer online games. The party size limit in Presearing is 2, and that means, well, you cannot play with more than one other person at the time, but I think 2 is still plenty, and if you get higher levels than, let's say, 15, then pretty much always redundant. But you can be a bro to other players, offer to power level them in Northlands, etc. if you're like level 20 or something. There's always somebody asking to be power leveled in Ascalon. And sometimes when you're bored, I mean, that's just a good thing to do to help somebody out. Although I'm not a proponent of power leveling ever. It just kinda kills all the fun, unless it's your like 3rd character or something and you saw it all and you just wanna get that character to 20 and have fun with it, test new skills. I think that what would be better is, and that's a high ask, I know, it cannot be asked for everyone, but I think a good thing would be to have a lower level character like 9 like we have now, and if somebody asks to level together in Northlands, you can just join them, and that's like the best fun you can have in Presearing. fighting those char when they're both hard for you. I think when I first made an Iron Man here, the character that is now deleted, and I went for Legendary Defender before leaving for Post. Major mistake. Post sucks. I don't enjoy it. I played with a player named Krason. I think I still have it in my friend list. Yes, Krason Pre. And he rolled an Iron Man as well, and we were duo fighting Char, and that was the biggest fun. And also, solo Iron Man in Presearing is extremely tough. Extremely tough, because you cannot use the imp, and that just makes it a whole lot harder, because as I mentioned, the imp carries us pretty much, and not the other way around. Plus, you cannot give yourself gear or anything. And I also wanted to stay alive, although that was always a very tall ask. And I died on that character before 20, many times actually. You kind of have to if you want to get any, even similarly close to decent XP rates. But not on this character. I think on this character we are doing pretty fine with our little Ben strategy here. We have Shaman, 2 Blade Storms, and a Chaot. I'm gonna try to pull the Shaman first. That would be ideal to focus it. Let's see how we do. Melee char are always just perceived as melee char, but if you're tanking and the NPC tanks for you, then Blade Storms can only hit one target, whereas the Axe char can use the Cyclone Axe skill and hit nearby. So if you're a warrior and an NPC is tanking for you, you can easily attack the melee char, but maybe stay away from the sword char, but maybe stay away from the axe char, because they can hit AoE around them. If we press Ctrl and click on our XP bar, we can see how many % in we are. And if Ben happens to stay alive, if I don't wreck our little run here, maybe we'll be able to kill the first boss once or twice during our grinds to level 10. It all also depends on how the bosses are placed around the altar, because the fire boss, the elementalist, is always on the forefront. It's always the first one, but then the other 3 are placed randomly, so that if the monk boss is close by, then you can't really do much about it, and it will just heal the fire elemental, an elementalist boss, and you cannot cheese it, let's say. But if the elementalist, if the monk boss is further back, then you might be able to pull the fire elementalist boss and cheese the whole encounter. And I'm using those names because I honestly forgot their actual names. I think it's Jaw, Fire, Blaze, some... I'm only playing this area for multiple years. Like, give me a break. I can't remember the names of the only bosses here. Oh, that's not true. There's also Skull Reaver. And Ben has managed to die again, which is not ideal. And if we compare the amount of percent we have now versus before, we can see that one pack of 4 char gives us about 5%, so 1 char should be around 1% of the level now, so even killing the singular char there seems worth it. And also all the O cards, obviously. And I think we also got XP from those scroll, although I might be mistaken because we still have 14%. Yeah, we might get 0 XP from level 3 monsters at this point. Level 4 would give us 16, so yeah, that would mean level 3 monsters no longer give us experience. Very sad moment. That means we only can level up in Northlands at level 9 onwards. There should be, yeah, some O cards up there. Just gotta wait for the pack to pass. Okay, pretty good stuff. Something that is not related to Guild Wars or Presearing, but rather another game that I'm playing called Tibia, is that I've currently, and for quite some time, have been the world record holder for the speedrun for the starting area of the game. And lately another player also developed some interest in running and actually beat my time by 1.5 minutes, which before he managed to send his record to speedrun.com, I came back and developed a new strategy and beat his time by 2 seconds with a whole ass new strategy. That means it needs a lot of refining, but I'm still happy that I managed to keep the record. And yeah, he definitely is the more skilled player in that game. I don't spend too much time on Tibia. Actually, mostly what I'm interested in now is just keeping that world record while I'm still decently enough skilled. But he does seem to be more skilled at the game than I am, and using the previous strategy without changing it too much, he managed to beat my time by 1.5 minutes, and I came up with a better strategy and just managed to get 2 seconds ahead. So that means I really would have a lot of work to do if he decided to copy my strategy and he went for a good time. Then probably I might be in real trouble and would actually lose the record. If any of you are accustomed or know anything about Tibia, the Rookguard speedrun, which is the first area of the game, actually starts in Downport, which I just said Rookguard is the first area of the game. Yes, you create your character, it starts in Downport, which is the small island, the new island since 2014. And you can talk to an NPC that will teleport you to Rookguard, but you cannot come back. And actually the strategy for the Rookguard speedrun up to this point was to just get teleported to Rookguard as fast as possible. But there are a couple of things you can do very, very fast on Downport that are still okay within the rules that give you massive advantages. One of those is just getting a vocation. It's reset when you teleport to Rookguard, but just get the fact that, excuse me, when you were teleporting you had a vocation, gives you a lot of armor, free armor that you would otherwise have to spend about 30 seconds selling stuff to the NPC and buying the armor, so that's a 30-second time save. Actually, it takes about 40 seconds and you spend about 10 seconds getting the vocation, so it's about a 30-second time save for nothing. Let me quickly focus on fighting those char. See, those two are axe fiends, and if I stand here, they can hit me for a lot using their AoE abilities. So I'm just standing near one of those. And you see me leaving a lot of white items on the ground. Some I pick up, like those Nick items I mentioned before, but some, like Axe Fiend armor, I leave. And it's just because I am not interested in raw gold at the moment anymore. I have a lot of gold on my main, probably enough, and it's just annoying picking up those 2-3 gold items and selling those. I would rather just pick a couple blue items and hope for a mod. It just makes the whole thing a lot smoother. Alright, and one more thing that you can do on Downport, back to talking about Tibia, is you can actually go through all of the 4 vocation gates, and that gives you 4 meat, and you can sell that along with a dagger and boots you get to afford a pick. And a pick is a fantastic item because it's required for one of the quests on Rookguard, and getting it on Rookguard takes a lot of time, probably like 5+ minutes. And on Downport is about a 30 seconds thing of just bam bam bam, go through all vocation gates and then buy the pick. So that enables you to do something called the Bear Room quest, and if you manage to stay alive while doing it, which the previous strategy also was very risky, so still very risky, very reset heavy starts, yay, you get the best armor on the island, the best weapon on the island, and second best helmet, and a weak shield. But even a weak shield is a fantastic, gigantic upgrade over having an empty second hand. And that makes it like a bajillion times safer and faster than the previous strategy. Actually, the strategy that I had for my previous world record was doing nothing in Downport, and then on Rookguard it saved all the time possible buying gear. So the guy that beat me by a minute and a half actually bought armor, which cost him some time, and then he beat me by a minute and a half, so he was like 2 minutes faster. And I just went with a weapon and one of the weakest armors, so I was getting hit like crazy. Let's hope I can pull this dude. Alright, 240 experience, I would say it's worth it. That's like, what, a whole char pack, pretty much? But I don't think we can get any other ones. But we can start safely clearing. So the strategy for now, and also what I meant by going through every gate, picking up 4 meat so you can sell it, there's also a faster strategy that saves about 20-something seconds, called Rope Skip. Not Rope Skip. It doesn't have a name, actually. I'm just trying to make one up right now to sound cool. But it's connected to a rope because you also start with a rope and you can sell it for an equivalent of 4 meat worth in gold. Oh, I was not meant to pull this pack. Crap. For enough gold to buy for 4 meats worth of gold, but you need a rope to traverse through the map faster if you're using a little faster route, I feel like. So it's generally not worth it to skimp on that. Actually, can Imp solo them? No. I'm gonna stand a little back and heal myself. Healing Signet, very dangerous because you have lower armor and you can get spiked really hard. I think I might be able to just go in now. I think I will be trying to improve the record a little bit soon. And we just got our first blue armor piece. Alright, so in Guild Wars, you cannot wear the armor that monsters drop. If you try to put it on, you cannot, even though it has an armor value. That is just for game flavor, let's say. But if we identify it, we might get, we will get, an insignia or a rune, or both. And now, if you remember, we can only use insignias that are no profession or warrior ones. We cannot use insignias for any other, or runes for any other profession. So let's hope this is either Survivor or Vitae or Vigor, which would be perfect, or Axe Mastery or Strength. And it's shit. The armor-giving insignias are very good in post-searing, but in pre, you get a buff that kinda makes all of the armor insignias not work, so yeah, they don't provide any benefit. And our Imp is getting strong enough to pretty much solo entire packs if we get good composition. We just got a shield upgrade. Ooh, we would have to... Alright, let me just focus on this one and I will explain everything in a second. Our Imp is getting strong enough to take down whole groups of char by itself if we get a good composition of the group, which is fantastic. And the second information is we just got a shield upgrade. It has one more armor, so let's just put it on just for the armor, but the mod is not too great. Received physical damage -1 sounds great, but the while in a stance part means we would have to be in Frenzy, because that's the only stance in Presearing, and we take double damage then. So this will be a little better when we are in Frenzy, but until we get to the point where we can use Frenzy and not kill ourselves with it, I think we will be getting a lot better shield at that point. I would like to get rid of this patrolling char pack, but it has the worst possible combination you can get. 2 healers, 2 hunters. Healers heal, obviously, and hunters deal the biggest damage out of every char, so that sucks massive bollocks. But they have a big patrol route, I think, like somewhere there, so we should be safe. We might be able to pull the Necromancer boss if we are lucky. It's not really too great for our XP per hour, but you know what, we're trying to get some loot here as well. And if I stand here, we're exactly on the verge of not pulling the other bosses, it seems like, but the healer boss will still be healing if there is someone injured in his range, so we'll have to try to spike Mr. Red-Eye the Unholy when he's low HP, and I think I can safely use Frenzy now, because he is not dealing too much damage to us. Alright, and we got it. We also got another shield upgrade, Skull Shield, Armor 9, but it requires 2 tactics, and I have 0 points in tactics now. So if we put it on, it's actually worse than the one we have now, so I will not be using it, so it's a drop. And we also got a short bow, which has more damage than the bow we are using for pulling now. But the only thing we are using the bow for is pulling from a long range. And longbows have the highest range out of every bow type. And the one we got, short bow, has the shortest range. It has the fastest attack speed, but the shortest range. And the only thing we want the bow for is to pull. So we are not about the short bow life. Let's see if I can pull the 2 melee char to us. The boss will also aggro with them, so let's see if we can get rid of those. Oh, and the 4 char pack will be coming as well, so this might be a tight spot for us. But somehow we managed to get one. Alright, seems like everything is working out for us somehow. But there will be a moment where we cannot continue just struggling through this anymore, because that patrol that I mentioned before is coming back at this point. So we have to rush anyways. And I put on Frenzy, which was a big mistake. As you can see, we just got hit for 92. And the patrol is coming, gotta go. It looked like we were almost about to make it work, but sadly, no. The imp will probably die, but we no longer have the resurrection summoning sickness debuff on, so we will be able to summon it back. Which is great. If we look at this char pack, this is actually a pretty good one. 2 Chaos and 2 Ashen Claws, we might be able to take it on. Emphasis on might, because they still deal a lot of damage, and they put those annoying hexes and they just might be too much. But they're grouped up, so our Cyclone Axe will do a lot of damage. And also Imp, but we're also getting spiked for some heavy damage. Yeah, it looks like we entered a state where our imp is strong enough to really carry us through this area, which is great. I was kind of doubtful earlier, but it looks like it really is working. Which is, of course, fantastic. Let's pull them a long way so that the boss will not come with him. The patrol is coming, but without the boss healing we might be able to just get rid of him fast. Very easy. Is this PC? If you mean computer, then yes, I'm not on a console. I think that's what you might mean. Hello, Potomac. How are you doing? Yeah, the game is called Guild Wars 1 and it's a PC game. Pretty old one at that. I'm gonna have to focus for a little bit because we're trying to pull this boss again. But you're good. Can you tell me a little bit about anything you want, actually? Strike a topic, because While I'm fighting those char, I sometimes have to focus, but oftentimes I would just like to talk about some random stuff. And it's always fantastic when there's somebody in the chat just to discuss some stuff with. And I'm great. Chilling here, getting some levels, getting another blue armor. Heyo, old school RuneScape. What are you doing in old school at the moment? And also we got blood magic that is worth a little bit, but not too much. So I'll probably not be trying to sell it to players, we'll just sell it to the NPC. I would usually have my old school RuneScape in the small box between my face and the equipment, but this time I'm making potions on UIM that cannot be too AFK'd, so I just decided I will drop RuneScape for a little while and just focus on leveling up this character. And it might look like we will be able to do a full clear. Oh, have you ever played? Yeah, I'm playing a UIM and 2 UIMs actually, one pay-to-play members UIM and one free-to-play. We just did a very bad pool. And usually when I'm streaming Guild Wars, I also have RuneScape in a small window down in the corner. Previously I was doing some herblore and selling potions. Yeah, that's my favorite game. Old school is my favorite game, so... What are you doing for Hunter? Oh, our imp died. That sucks a lot. That sucks a lot. We would have to wait a lot. But I just really want to do a... Okay, we probably should reset. Let's reset. What are you doing for Hunter? And are you some type of Iron Man or a regular account? Let's quickly sell. And identify the X-Fiend armor and also trash. Slayer Master. Alright. My RSN is Presearing, just like the area. I will write it down in chat. I would look you up, but I'm sure you understand that I'm streaming Guild Wars at the moment, so I cannot really do that. But we just did a very, very great clear of Northlands. If it goes like that again, we should be hitting level 10 very, very soon. Black salamanders. Aren't you afraid of doing them in the wildy? I gotta say, I know wildy gives a lot of benefits. Let's say the biggest one probably is the prayer altar, and there is a safe method of doing it on UIM, but I just can't bother. It's pretty annoying doing stuff in the wilderness. I never really go there. So you have a badge of honor for bravery for doing black salamanders. Even if you're just a normal account, not any type of Iron Man. Still, people who go to wilderness impress me, let's say. I will go there after max, probably, just to do some bossing, maybe. And maybe get the Earth Warrior scroll. Regular ACK, alright. If you're a reg, then black salamanders... No, black salamanders are those in Wildy? I think I might have mistaken them with black chinchompas. I think black salamanders are in Mauritania. Or am I stupid? Jesus Christ. That's what you get for doing all the hunter on birdhouses and herbivores. I just don't know what the other methods are. I think salamanders were in Mauritania. And then red salamanders were near RD. Oh, they're by Chaos Altar in Wildy. Alright, so they are in Wilderness. They should be fantastic XP then, right? I think I was getting less than 100k XP per hour on herbivores. So black salamanders should be a lot more. Well, if you don't count people crashing, of course. Like PKers. When as possible, because then you get the debuff going fast, and if it happens to die, it might require far less time for you to resummon it, or the debuff might be actually already gone. Yeah, for Regs there are a lot of fantastic methods for Hunter. If you're an Iron, you're kinda... If you've done this specific method, then you're setting yourself back. For example, you need herbivores for herbs or chinchompas to get range. And as a reg, there's also a lot of money to get from black chins if you decide to do it. So how did you find my channel if you didn't know I played old school too? Because I just assumed that you watched some of my old school videos. It's really great to have you here. Yeah, that's possible. I make some old school videos on a UIM, and I also have a small mini series on RuneScape Classic of doing all the quests. But you know, the classic crowd is a little smaller community than old school. Old school really is a big game, and God, I love it for it. Just my favorite game. I found RuneScape relatively late in my life when I was already in high school, and after playing MMORPGs my entire life, that's instantly the best game. So hopefully I'm able to provide a little bit of entertainment for you while you're doing Hunter, because everybody knows that for some skills you just need to watch something on the side. There's no way you're gonna do something like fishing or Hunter without watching a series or a stream. Ben is getting some hard damage now, and he will probably die, which is unfortunate. Yeah, he already died. Shame, I was hoping we'll get to keep him for longer this time. Yeah, I can't count how many series I watched just because I started playing RuneScape. It's also coincidentally similar time frame where I started watching Netflix, so I had a huge library of stuff to watch. So right now I'm watching Sex Education, and I just finished You Season 3. You, fantastic series, gotta recommend it. And I'm re-watching Riverdale just because I have a thing for shitty teenage dramas. So if there's any series you'd like to recommend, I'm all ears, because there will come a point pretty soon with the amount I'm playing that I will run out of stuff to watch. I'm already running out of stuff to watch on YouTube. And that would really suck. Because, like, doing rune crafting for 200 more hours without anything to watch? No way. You played it in 2000, so you also played in Classic. Can you tell me, how was that? How was the game back in those days, as much as you can remember? Because to me, when I started so late, it's like unfathomable, because when I started playing, people were already like efficiency minded and very goal oriented, and everybody knew what they were doing. And I can imagine when the game was newer, then people didn't really know what was going on, and they were just killing goblins all day because that was fun. So can you tell me a little bit about your experiences in the early days, as much as you can remember, because yeah, obviously it was 20 years ago. Yeah, I can imagine. Do you remember what you spent your days doing? And were you free to play back then, or did you get members? We have to watch out for the patrol, but we might be able to snag this oak heart and go back without aggroing it. It seems like they just came to their little ruin, so we have a little bit of time. Free to play for first 3 years you played, and you were always trying to save up for rune to hand, and you were into wildy PKing, but horrible at it. Yeah, that sounds like... PKing sounds like that thing that I cannot get nowadays, but it sounds like that's what people were doing for fun, because kids like PvP and just little fights like that. Wandering around the game, yeah. Even after for so long now, playing for so long, I still sometimes find those little places I didn't see before because I had no reason to go there, and it's just so fun exploring. Previously, I played a hardcore, so I couldn't really explore wherever I wanted because I didn't know where dangerous stuff shit was. And now on a UIM, I can always come back and get my stuff back if I happen to die. So exploring is just way more fun. Nice. Another bag. Bag stack starts to look pretty good. And once we hit level 10, we will probably stop fighting those oak hearts. They are just the most reliable source of experience at this level. But if we're level 10, they will just give like 16 XP, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 16. And that is just way too little. One of a kind game, yeah. Where I'm from, RuneScape is pretty much unheard of. There was another game we played called Tibia when we were kids, and I love my memories of playing Tibia, but RuneScape is just... It really is something else. Perfect game, in my opinion. And their game development industry has so much experience now, but it seems like they keep making it bad. The game's bad all the time. And RuneScape somehow, even though they fucked up with EOC, in my opinion, and all of the changes, they had a chance to restart with old school, and they're doing so much of it right this time. I love it. Hunter x Hunter, Shaman, Ashen Claw. You're from America, alright? I think it was really popular in the States too, but I might be wrong about that. Maybe it was just popular in the UK. I'm sorry, I just gotta focus for a second. Because it's still pretty dangerous when the char focuses me. But we got our first purple short bow. Hello, Greg. Nice to know your name then. My name is Michał. And yeah, for sure, when I come online, I'll make sure to message you. But it doesn't have any good mods, so rip. For bows, since there is a bonus bow in the game, you can't really expect much when you get one, but getting a char slaying mod would be fantastic. That is the best in slot mod you can get. And 18% is the highest it gets, so getting 18% char slaying on an axe or a bow is just... This is the drop you want. If we look at the boss placement now, then the healer boss is just too close to the elementalist boss for comfort, so we will not be able to pull the altar this time, sadly. And it looks like we also pulled those guys, so we might be a little bit screwed, and by a little bit I mean a lot screwed. Our imp is probably dead. Let's go resummon it real quick and maybe clear out a couple more oak hearts and start killing from the other side. We might be successful in doing that, although no promises. That's what I meant by saying if there is good compositions, the imp might be able to carry us. Some compositions of Char are just far stronger than others. If a composition has a healer, that makes it a lot harder, and then a chaot counters monks a lot. Melee ones are just tough to fight, and hunters have the highest damage. So for us as a warrior, hunter, monk, hunters and shamans are the worst part. And this patrol has 2 shamans and 1 hunter and 1 chaot, so that's just terrible. The other patrol also has a shaman and a hunter and also a chaot, so pretty unlucky with the patrols, at least for now. We just found a bow upgrade. I'm just gonna talk about one thing real quick. Since I mentioned earlier that we use long bows for pulling, this is a long bow, and it has higher damage than the one we use now, but it has a requirement of 6 marksmanship, and if we don't meet it, we will do less damage than with this one. So even though it's just for 1 hit, it's still better to use this no requirements one. Nah, 2 shamans is just too hard for us. We got 13% this run and we just got a restart. Sometimes it will be like that, where you cannot really do much and you just gotta bite the bullet and restart. But we're getting pretty close to level 10. If we have to restart next run and we are close enough, we can complete this quest for 250 XP and maybe ding level 10 that way. Oh, and before we go, let's sell our longbow and shortbow. So, actually, let's just destroy them. They're just 16 gold plus something. Not too much. I forgot to switch our points from strength to axe mastery. But as I mentioned before multiple times, this for now it's the imp fighting, and we are just its humble servant, tanking a little. Last time we got 13%, now we got 25 more to go. If Ben survives, we might be able to do it. So let's try to make sure he does survive now. And by try to make sure, we can't. It's pretty much RNG if the char will focus him or us. But if the group composition of char nearby him will be too terrible, then we might just skip it. We're also not getting too lucky with any good drops. But that might be because we cannot kill that many char, and I'm still thinking about, like, we completed 3 runs, but in reality, if this was on my main, I would kill every char in those 3 runs, but this time we only kill a couple. So that's why we might not be too lucky with those drops. But at this point, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of stuff that would really help us, so if we got lucky on any of those, that might speed up clearing by a lot. But hopefully at level 10 we can have enough points in marksmanship to use the better bow. And probably if we can... Ooh, we might not. Let's see, I have 2. That is plus 4, plus 3, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Is 4 plus 3 is 7, and 2 and 1 is 10. Plus 7 is 17. We might not have enough points to boost our marksmanship to enough. Oh no, what I'm talking about. Yeah, we might not have enough points to boost our marksmanship to 9, which is a requirement for the bonus bow. So we might be not able to do that yet, the ranger strategy, which sucks because I was really hoping we might be able to switch to it at level 10, but we might require 11. No worries, it's just the imp getting stronger. We will be switching to ranger at level 10 anyways, because I need to be able to put points into wilderness survival. That's far more useful for me now than putting points into axe mastery, since we are barely fighting anyways, just doing some scratches and mostly tanking for our imp and for Ben. What's the composition? Hunter, Hunter, Shaman, Chaot. Perfect, perfect, fantastic, great, love it. Shit composition as well. But they're bundled up, so let's pull them. Very risky pull without healing, but they were bundled up and that's what we want. Let's get 1 or 2 hits on us so that Ben is not focused, and he is, and he will die. Feels just a little bit pointless trying to keep him alive. Oh, and we got improved sale value on the bow. That's neat. If one char gives us 1%, we would need to kill 17. Let's say 2 cards also give us 1%. So we might not be able to get a level up this run if we get unlucky at the altar. Get unlucky at the altar sounds like we're getting married or something. Let's check this composition. Melee, Hunter, Chaos, and Necromancer. We should be able to clear this one with our Imp, so let's do a little pull here once they group up, so we get some nice fireball hits. And hope for the Imp to clear out the rest. It looks like he will die, so I was very, very mistaken. Yeah, and he's dead. Fantastic. But now we managed to kill one of those char, so if we wait about, let's say, 4 minutes, it seems like for the debuff to run out, let's clear a couple of cards and come back here and clear this pack of 3. That should be easy XP now that one of them is dead. They cannot combo us anymore. And why are they aggroing on me? I wasn't in the range. I wasn't in range. Okay, it seems like they just might. I think I have about 30 trick-or-treat bags on my main now as well, so it would be good to hit about 100 before the event ends. I think that would be a nice goal to strive for. The imp still needs a little bit, so let's explore this part and see if there are any oak hearts here. I don't normally go this way. Oh, but there's a flower. We need a flower. Alright. Our red iris stack is growing slowly. Out of the 150 we need, we have 37, so that's not too great. And there's one of the better looking places in all of the Presearing. think there is a location that's similar in Post. I can't remember the name, but it looks fantastic here, and that's where one of the char champions spawn when you're doing the Annihilation char quest. You have to kill 6 champions, and one of those starts there, so I always start with this one because it's a little out of the way for all the other 5. The patrol is coming back, so let's maybe clear those Growl and wait for them to go here and go back. Okay, that's just dumb. Never mind. We have our imp, let's wait for the patrol to leave. Oh, they are coming back. No. Okay, they must be bugged. That must be a bug. Never mind. They will probably come and aggro me in the worst possible moment, because that's just how this game works sometimes. Okay, patrol finally left. Let's pull this group. You can also use walls to your advantage. I don't think I mentioned it before because we are a warrior. But if you go over a wall, then projectiles will not hit you. Oh, the patrol's coming back. We gotta be quick. Probably our imp will die. That sucks. Yeah, I don't think we can fight them at this stage. You can use the walls, especially as a caster. To your advantage, you can cast some spells from behind the wall. Maybe if I get the attention of those blade storms here, they will leave my imp alone. And he can solo the shaman and the chaos. Yeah. Yeah, seems like that. Good job, Impy. Now chaos. Oh, but the blade storms started focusing him. Yeah, tanking those might be too much for me at this stage. We gotta hope that the imp can manage. Alright, very good. Our longbow deals 7 to 9, but we just got one that deals 7 to 11. So the 7 to 9 one is no longer needed because the 7 to 11 one also has no requirements. And we'll be able to deal full damage with it, so... Out of all the upgrades we could have gotten, we got probably the smallest and the most meaningless one. And just right as we're about to hit level 10, but what can you do? I kinda didn't notice that we were pulling. I was focused on something else, but we might be able to help our imp here because he's tanking 2 hunters and that's not too great. Okay, now we just don't want to die ourselves. Imp has a little bit of self-healing from casting spells, but not too much. If I was a monk, I would be able to heal him, but since we are ranger secondary, Jesus Christ, we're getting pummeled. We will not be having any skills that can heal our imp. Alright. 5 to 12 damage, double-bladed axe. We would gain 2 top damage but lose 5 health. So I think at this stage 5 health is a little better. Plus we need just 128 XP to level up. Let's clear those all cards. That will be like half of that XP. Just from those. And those other out cards will be the rest. So I think we are level 10 without fighting any char now. Which is very significant because that will unlock us to pick up a quest that will increase our armor by a fair bit. And then the runs should become easier and we will go and become rangers. Everything starts falling into place with our build. Okay, level 10. Let's just dump into strength for now. Do we wanna leave right now? Let's see the composition. It's jaw, smoke skin, and cast. So we might be able to do it. Let's quickly try to kill jaw before we leave. Yeah, that was an idiotic pull, because we pulled that other group as well. I stopped focusing for a second and we already freaked up, so let's just teleport out. There's no point in staying here. Alright, so the order of business is this. Let's pick out the... Let's actually teleport to Ashford Abbey first. And we will now be running to Regent Valley to become a full-fledged ranger. Do we have every other quest completed? Yep. Alright, so let's go. Are there any flowers nearby? Probably here. There might be one. And since we already have the stalker, we will be able to complete the quest. Where is the flower? Yes, here it is. When it happened previously, it seems like it was only for a brief second. And it's kind of jarring that our stalker still has its default name and it's not named by us. So I think the command was pet name / pet name, and we're gonna name it Mako because that's one of the ways I call my fiance, and it would be fantastic to have her on those adventures in Presearing here with me, even though she doesn't really enjoy the game. Ranger Nant, which we are turning the quest into, should be pretty close, right by this entrance, and we will officially become a warrior / ranger. I just hope we don't regret this choice in the future, but I don't think we will. Yes, I am ready to become a ranger. Now we have all of the other quests here so that we can safely turn them in at level 16. And now let's just quickly finish out those devourers and teleport to Ascalon and make our build the proper one, because as you can see we got access to all of those attributes that now need our attention. Okay, in Ascalon, let's do a /bonus command, and we got a couple of items. Thankfully the bow was the first one because we don't have much space, and what we wanted is the bow, and it requires 9 marksmanship, and as you can see it has 15 to 28 damage, so that is just nuts for Presearing. For comparison, our axe has 5 to 10 and other bows have like 9 to 13 is the highest, and this is 15 to 28. So let's see if we can get up to 9 marksmanship. If we were a ranger, we could get it by getting it to 7 and then getting +2 from the helmet, but since we cannot use ranger runes, we cannot use it. So let's see what's the highest marksmanship we can go, and it's 8. We would have to wait until level 11, so that doesn't suit me very well. So for now, let's actually put 0 points in marksmanship and dump everything we have into wilderness survival until it gives us points, because if you look at this, at 0 wilderness survival we get +3, and when we put 1 point we get also +3, which means we don't get any benefit from this. But if we put 1 more point at even points, we get +4. So if we put 1 more, it will be still +4, and if we put 1 more point, it will be +5. So let's just put 2 more to 6, and we can actually get it up to 8. Do we want +7 or do we want some axe mastery? I think we're gonna go with a build like this: little axe mastery +7 health regeneration, and that will make us very tanky because previously we got +3, which was 6 health per second, And now we have +7, which is 14 health per second, which is a big jump up. And then if we talk with Lieutenant Langmar here, we can pick up the quest. This quest takes part in the catacombs, which are in the Ashford Abbey. Actually, this is a little bit of a lie because it's easier to get here through Baradin's estate, at least for this specific quest, but no matter. Just having this quest in our quest log will give us bonus armor. So that means that from this point on, the armor from our shield gives us nothing, which sucks. And we are just getting the armor set from the quest buff, which is called Vanguard Initiate. And Halbrick over here will teach me some skills. Let's learn all the ranger skills we have. How many skill points we have? Actually 9, so we can safely buy everything we need. Hammer Bash is our last warrior skill, then Dual Shot, Ignite Arrows, Read the Wind. Power Shot is a trash skill, but I will buy it just to have it all. And Point Blank Shot, which I do not really like, but let's also buy it just to have it all. Now let's clear out our inventory. I do not need this bow for now because we don't meet the requirements. Let's sell this and this. And actually I will be selling those dice as well, or dropping, because I would have to move them over to my other character, and I don't think I want. Or actually, let's keep them. And let's do one more run for good measure and see how much our tanking ability has changed. We will be dealing a little less damage, and actually far less damage, but our imp should be able to solo stuff now with us tanking if we tank properly. If we do /devs, if I can start learning how to write properly devs, we still haven't died, which is fantastic. And if we look over here, Vanguard Initiate buff, your armor is improved while performing missions for the Ascalon Vanguard, which means that we got an armor buff. At level 10, it's not that significant. It goes up at level 10, 14, and 17. But at level 17, it's like 70 armor, which is almost as much as you can get max armor in the main game. So that I can't wait to test that on a warrior. That should be just bonkers and pretty much no damage gotten. But for now, let's see how we fare with a little increased armor and with a lot increased tankiness from Troll Unduent. And we actually have 2 remaining points. Why not just put them into strength and maybe into tactics to improve those things just this slight little bit, because why not? The same thing if you have an elementalist or a secondary elementalist. You oftentimes won't be able to spend your points equally on any combination. Actually, in Presearing, it just happens often that you can't. So why not just put some points into some lesser used skills, just so when you do use it, they're that little bit better. For example, on elementalists, I sometimes put points into air magic. Just if I need this blind, it goes from 2 seconds to 3. Not too big of a difference, but sometimes when you're fighting the Char boss for the quest, I think his name is... I can't remember now. Anyways, sorry, cannot remember. It just gives you that 1 more second, 1 less attack you take to the face because he's blinded. Alright. So we will not be bothering with Ben, I think, for this run. This will be the last run of the stream because my throat is starting to hurt again. We will see how the imp does on its own with us tanking. And as you can see, the regeneration is pretty great. even though we got a degen from a necromancer, we can easily tank something. Although my imp seems to be dying yet again. Just don't die, come on. Alright, seems like he'll be fine unless that group of char coming right now will take interest in us. And it looks like it might pass. Oh, come on, of course. We're failing this time just because we made a bad pull, but as you could see, we got significantly higher tanking power, so let me teleport out. And as I mentioned, that run was supposed to be the last one, so I think we're gonna be ending the stream here. Let me just identify this. Minor swordsmanship. This is the first warrior rune we got. Shame it's swords, because swords in Presearing suck a lot. But we should be better off now with our new tanking build, and when we hit level 11, we will be able to put 9 points into marksmanship, but that would mean no points in wilderness survival, so we could be going with our tanking warrior build and imp carrying or us shooting the bow. We will see what is best, but for now I think I'm done with streaming for today, so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you're watching this later on as a recording, thank you. Thank you for watching as well, and hopefully this was helpful. Good luck in your Presearing adventures if you decide to play, and have a wonderful day. I hope to see you in the next one.